The FBI hitting back at criticism over its takedown of the ISIS-inspired terror plot planned for Halloween, with at least 8 arrested so far across 3 states, including 2 accused of rehearsing the attack, which they named Pumpkin, at gun ranges, allegedly planning to shoot up Michigan nightclubs, and 2 athletes from a wealthy New Jersey suburb who allegedly offered ISIS-inspired beheadings on camera. FBI Director Kash Patel defending the takedown, quote, "If we were to do this the way the media wanted us to do it, we would have waited for them to kill Americans and then arrest them." Deputy Director Dan Bongino adding, "People would have died, a lot of them. That's a fact, and our work stopped it." Fox News contributor and former Assistant U.S. Attorney Andy McCarthy joins us now. So good to see you this morning. Thanks for joining us, Andy. So this is kind of amazing to be sitting here in New York City and remembering all of the tips before 9/11 that got ignored, and then to hear people criticize the FBI for taking these steps in an obvious plot to commit a terrorist attack.
Yeah, well, this happens, Charlie, every time that there's an investigation that thwarts a terrorism attack. I've been through this situation myself in the 90s in the New York City landmarks plot. What happens is we want 2 things that are kind of contradictory. We want to be safe on the one hand and make sure that nothing happens, that we prevent mass murder attacks from happening. We also want to make sure that we have enough evidence to prove in court later on that there was a plot and they really were trying to mass kill people. And it actually is a source of some contention between investigators and prosecutors, because prosecutors always want to let the plot run as far as it can, like to the point of lighting the fuse before they stop and make arrests. In the meantime, the FBI knows that if the plot gets out of their control and people get killed, they're going to be blamed for it. So it's tension that goes on within an investigation, but what always happens at the end of the investigation is the FBI, as I think happened here, has thwarted a mass murder plot. But since it hasn't happened, the defense lawyers and others who are sympathizers of theirs will say that there was no real plot and they're exaggerating the whole thing.
Right. It's kind of maddening, but you break that down very well. I want to change gears to this. The Pentagon is now saying it's investigating Senator Mark Kelly over that video where he urges troops to defy what he calls illegal orders. Of course, he doesn't actually spell out any of these supposedly illegal orders. Senator Kelly responding, saying, "If this is meant to intimidate me and other members of Congress from doing our jobs and holding this administration accountable, it won't work. I've given too much to this country to be silenced by bullies who care more about their own power than protecting the Constitution." What do you see? Does the Department of Justice or anybody else have a case against these lawmakers who urged troops to defy orders?
Yeah, this is one of the dumbest controversies. I really wish both sides would take it down a notch. The Democrats, if they want to complain about lawless orders, should specify what orders they're talking about. That's perfectly reasonable. But in a country with the First Amendment, they're allowed to make even incorrect statements. As it happens, it's a correct statement of law to say that troops don't have to follow illegal orders, and you'd never be able to make a case out of that. At most, what you would have if they were truly interfering with the carrying out of lawful orders, you'd have insubordination. You wouldn't have anything like sedition or insurrection, which requires like a violent uprising. So I think the Democrats are wrong to have pitched this the way they did. The reaction to it is a way, way overreaction, and we'd be better off if both sides just took it down about 11 notches.
Well, we always appreciate your calm, level legal analysis. Andy McCarthy.
Thanks, Charlie.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.